What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And things are absolutely heating up in the Scarlett Johansson versus Disney signing on. What's her name now? I forget. Another woman signed on. Why can't I think of her name right now? Whatever. I'm sure it'll come up. But feminists are getting involved, as well as calling to task people like Mark Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr. for not saying enough. This via Cosmic Book News. Feminists accuse Disney of gendered attack against Scarlett Johansson. Following Scarlett Johansson's filing a lawsuit against Disney over the Disney Plus streaming release of Black Widow, now the feminists are accusing it of a gendered attack against the actress. Hollywood's female-led groups, including Women in Film, LA Reframe, and Time's Up, have come to defend Scarlett following Disney's official reply to the lawsuit. Feminist groups released a joint statement accusing Disney of a gendered character attack against Scarlett Johansson. Quote, "While we take no position on the business issues in the litigation between Scarlett and the Walt Disney Company, we stand firmly against Disney's recent statement, which attempts to characterize Johansson as insensitive or selfish for defending her contractual business rights." I actually 100% agree with this part. It was really scummy for them to be like, "Oh, but why would you want more money during a worldwide health crisis? Oh, Disney, we do so good. We don't have any more money for you." But it wasn't gendered. It was just a character attack. They write, "This gendered attack has no place in business dispute and contributes to an environment in which women and girls are perceived as less able than men to protect their own interests without facing ad hominem criticism." The groups have taken issue with Disney publicly spoke out against Johansson with mention of the payment she received, where it looks as if Johansson is selfish in filing the lawsuit, as Johansson received $20 million plus added compensation from the premiere access of Black Widow. It is no secret that Disney People.com obtained the statement from Johansson's attorney. It's no secret that Disney is releasing films like Black Widow directly on Disney Plus to increase subscribers and thereby boost their company's stock price. We know we've gone through the statement. It also has been reported that the head of Marvel, Kevin Feige, is angry and embarrassed over the matter. We're going to get to that in a second. Black Widow is a current worldwide box office of $322 million and $60 million from Disney Plus. Let's call it $400 million. It lost money. You can see Kevin Feige is mad. Feige is a company man and prone to corporate showdowns or shouting matches, but I'm told he's angry and embarrassed, Bellany reports. He lobbied Disney against the date plan for Black Widow, preferring the big screen exclusivity and not wanting to upset his talent. Furthermore, the report states that when the stuff hit the fan, the movie started tanking and Johansson's team threatened litigation, Kevin Feige tried to get Disney to make things right with her. I would argue that that's probably true. It is reported that head of Marvel, Kevin Feige, is angry and embarrassed over the whole situation. Regarding Feige, the info comes from the Hollywood Reporter's email newsletter. He also, Emma Stone and Emily Blunt also involved. But this, not enough. Scarlett Johansson's team has now fired back. It began Thursday when Johansson filed the suit and Disney tried to character assassinate her. Scarlett has been on Disney's partner on 9 movies, which have earned Disney and its shareholders billions, Lord continued. The company included her salary in the press statement in an attempt to weaponize her success as an artist and businesswoman, as if it were something she should be ashamed of. Scarlett is extremely proud of her work that she and the other actors, writers, directors, producers, and Marvel creative team have been a part of for well over a decade. The suit was filed as a result of Disney's decision to knowingly violate Scarlett's contract. They have very deliberately moved the revenue streams and profits to the Disney Plus side of the company, leaving an artistic and financial partners out of the new equation. That's pure and simple. Disney's direct attack on her character and all else they implied is beneath the company that many of us in the creative community have worked with successfully for decades. I agree that this was I'm no Scarlett Johansson fan, especially after her most recent statements, but that was really scummy for them. Again, to invoke, the health situation going on around the world right now in order to gain some sort of perceived jockeying position over Scarlett was really scummy. He writes, "This is certainly going to be a long battle, though the results could prove dramatic for the entertainment industry at large." Well, if you have Emma Stone and Emily Blunt joining this, you're going to have, $100 million, $200 million tied up in lawsuits potentially that I think they'll probably lose, because if the contracts really do say, like, hey, you're owed a percentage based on box office, and then you change the distribution model. Obviously, I'm reducing it, boiling it down to the very, very, minimum of it. But quite frankly, it feels like that would be some sort of violation, but also it feels like you would have some sort of make right if you're a company. I mean, wouldn't you get out in front of this and say, like, hey, obviously, I mean, that this is in the contract. That your actors and actresses have performance incentives in their contract. You think just changing it's like, well, we're just going to change it. We're going to bleed $100 million off the box office numbers so we don't have to pay your commission on that. It seems insane to me. But now it's rolling over to Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo. As Scarlett Johansson sues Disney, the silence of Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, and Chris Evans speak volumes. Scarlett Johansson recently sued Disney, the parent company of Marvel Studios, for choosing the simultaneous release for a standalone Black Widow film. The Wall Street Journal, which broke the story, reports that ScarJo lost as much as $50 million in bonuses due to the concurrent release. I don't believe that that's true. I believe that, without seeing the actual contract, which will now come out in court. But I think the reality is she probably would have earned $50 million if the movie did $1 billion. The movie lost money. I'm guessing that we're talking about maybe $5 to $10 million here, which any one of us would happily take. But I just, I don't think it's anywhere near $50 million in actual losses. But they're going to have to go to court and prove that, well, this movie would have done 600, 700 million if not for the simultaneous release. I suppose they could point to the Fast and Furious, which I think made close to 700 million. I think it's close to that. But who knows? Actor Elliot Page has said on Twitter that Pratt should address the accusations. Hold on a second. Whatever the truth is, strange to see not a single Marvel actor come to Johansson's defense. While Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige said to be angry and embarrassed, per The Hollywood Reporter, even he has not spoken about it publicly. Why would they? Why is there always this call for other people to put their jobs at risk? For most of us, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. So why are you wanting these people to get fired? It seems crazy to me. In stark contrast to what happened when Guardians of the Galaxy star Chris Pratt was surrounded by claims that he followed a church that was mean. Yeah, okay. Soon after the claims came to light, bigwigs like Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, Zoe Saldana, Jeremy Renner, and James Gunn all expressed their support for Pratt. The director who directed Pratt in 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies, sorry, I'm just finding out about this nonsense. Chris Pratt is the best dude in the world. I've spent hours and hours sharing my deepest truths with this man, as he with me. Please stop assuming what he believes politically or in any other way just because he's a Christian. Downey Jr. was more impassioned with his defense, writing on Instagram as a caption of the photo of them both. What a world. The sinless are casting stones at my brother Chris Pratt, a real Christian who lives by the principle, has never demonstrated anything but positivity and gratitude, and he just married into a family that makes space for civil discourse and just plain facts, insists on service at the highest value. If you take issue with Chris, I've got a novel idea. Delete your social media accounts, sit down with your own defects of character, work on them, and celebrate your humaneness. Yeah, I mean, sure, they did come out in his defense, but the whole Scarlet thing is just a few days, kind of mature. And on top of that, do they know anything about the contract negotiations? I suppose you could tweet something very simple like, hey, I stand with my fellow actors and actresses in getting what they're deserved, getting paid what they're owed. But, Robert Downey Jr.'s dad just died. I'm sure he's probably dealing with that as opposed to worried about social media craziness. And again, one of these is a legal suit and the other was a public smear campaign. I think they are notably different. I don't think it's unrealistic to expect other Hollywood people to come out and speak out in her defense. But I think it's funny that we're turning on them now and saying like, oh, well, they haven't said anything. They must hate women. That's what the implication is, right? Gerard Butler, apparently in response to ScarJo's lawsuit, has also sued the producers of Olympus Has Fallen, contending that he has owed at least $10 million from the global box office success of the movie. Johansson is one of the world's highest-paid actors in the world. But this affects every single person that works in the film industry. Whatever transpires, one thing is certain, that Johansson's colleagues in the Marvel movies are failing her by not speaking out. Maybe they're doing stuff behind the scenes, though. It's difficult to know. But it's going to be interesting to see. I hope this all gets messy because, well, it's going to be great for all of us to watch. By the way, if you enjoyed this video and made it this far, I hope that I've earned your subscription today. There's a red subscribe button down below. I know it's a pain. Maybe you even have to create an account, but I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Plus, it'll just make finding my videos much easier. And I thank you if you're already subscribed. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.